The individual that I selected for my interview is Craig Smith. Craig Smith is the Director of Engagement and Community Outreach for my sport management program. He's been in his position for about 2.5, going on 3 years now. My initial impression when I first met him was that he was an amazing individual. His professionalism, his mannerism, his ability to connect, just his ability to engage with people on the first time that he meets them was really amazing to me. He has a drive to help those who are underprivileged and who have less resources and less benefits than they may need to be successful in their environment. He was actually my first form of involvement outside of just schoolwork for UF, so he introduced me to various organizations and clubs and ways to get involved and get experience around campus. He's willing to go out of his way to provide for others, and he displays a plethora of leadership qualities that I would like to improve upon myself. And those qualities are definite qualities that a leader should always have. And that's sort of the background of why I selected him to be my interviewee. So my perception of him during the interview was that he has a lot of experience with leadership. His eye contact, his body language, his ability to articulate himself on the spot and come up with creative answers was a very unique trait that I saw. He's able to relay his information and provide his opinion to you and make sure that you understand what he's trying to say and how he's trying to relate it to you and the point that he wants to get across. He's very diligent when it comes to articulating himself and using powerful words to get his message across. Also, it seemed as if he has a lot going on. He has a lot of stacks of papers laying around, a lot of posters about internships, experience, volunteering, jobs, studying abroad, a lot of informal sessions, things of that nature, just sort of stapled on the walls, a lot of stacks of paper. And this gave me the impression that he has a lot going on. And throughout the interview, I learned that he has a small staff of part-time students, but since it is a very small staff, this gave me the impression that he has a very heavy workload and that he does a lot of the work himself, makes a lot of the phone calls, a lot of the engaging and outreach, community outreach, things of that nature by himself. So he's involved with a lot of activities and a lot of events to ensure that the students are able to gather their connections that they need to be successful once they graduate. Moving on, he discussed a plethora of key leadership characteristics throughout the interview. One very important trait that he discussed was diversity. Diversity is a component that he values very much, and it's an essential piece of his decision-making process, and it's been an essential piece of his life for his entire life. Many of his previous jobs have placed him in situations where he is able to improve something or someone who is disadvantaged or has less resources. He enjoys being in situations where the environment can be improved or needs to be improved. He really loves building, improving, and growing and strengthening the community and the people in that community. He doesn't really enjoy being in environments where the building blocks have already been made. It's a well-oiled machine and the foundation is already up and running. He really looks for opportunities where he can grow and improve the situation. Also, he made a direct correlation to servant leadership, which we discussed in lecture and throughout class during that chapter. This kind of correlates with the same thing. He enjoys serving people. He puts others first, empowers them, and he wants to help them reach their full potential. And these are some of the words that were actually mentioned in the textbook from Nordhaus. So he uses listening, persuasion, awareness, foresight, building communities, commitment to growth, and things of that nature. Many of those aspects that were also mentioned in the textbook are things that he hit some of his values and some character traits that he highly values, and he uses them very well. Moving on, my perception of him after the interview didn't really change too much. I still feel that he's a tremendous individual and an exceptional human being. After the interview, the primary differences that I have much more content and much more background to as to the what, the why, and the how for how he does what he does, what he does, and what he hopes to accomplish from doing the things that he does. So, for example, he was a Navy kid growing up, so he moved around a lot from different states, different regions, different coasts, and he wasn't in the same environment for long periods of time. So, this constantly moving around made a lot of his relationships short term. He didn't really have a lot of long term relationships. So being with that, you meet new friends every day, new school, new teacher, new environments. He picked up quickly how to initiate conversations, engage with people, connect with people, because he moved around so often. So this was something that he was easily able to pick up on because he had to do it so often. And lastly, to discuss some of the key statements that he made, one of the very important statements that he made that stuck with me was that you will never open your own door. Someone else always has to open a door for you. So essentially, the point that he was trying to make was you don't have to have this do it on your own mentality, which a lot of college kids have, and just a lot of kids in general. They feel that they have to make it on their own, do everything on their own, can't ask for help, sort of a stubborn mentality, kind of. And his important point was that everyone always has someone open a door for them to get them to the position that they're at and give them various opportunities. He also heavily emphasized building relationships with people, connecting with people, connecting with other individuals, and just growing in general. As far as early career advancement, this is extremely important for young individuals, especially young individuals who hope to become leaders. And along with this, he emphasized that your success is just as important as the person who you are working for. So when you go into your interview, it's not just about getting the position. It's also about analyzing the environment and analyzing the individuals that you are going to be working with, because you want to work with individuals who are going to help you grow, help you improve, and they want to grow themselves. This will open up various networking opportunities, various doors, and various opportunities for you to further advance in your career. So lastly, the most important takeaway from this interview that I also connected with leadership is connecting with other people. As a leader, this is something that you always have to do. It's one of the essential ways that leaders are successful leaders. Being able to connect with other people, engage with other people, engage with environments, create diversity are very important components of becoming a successful leader. I gathered valuable information from this interview, valuable knowledge about leadership, and some of my interviewees' perspective on leadership, and it was a great experience. Thank you.